So we did just get confirmation from New Orleans police when it comes to how the suspect died. So we do know that the man crashed his vehicle. So I'm going to read this from NOPD. After the vehicle came to a stop, the suspect reportedly opened fire on responding officers who returned fire. The victim was struck and subsequently declared deceased on scene. Further information on the suspect is currently available, or I'm assuming that's not available for release. So we do know, now have confirmation from police that that was an exchange of gunfire and that he died after being shot by officers.
And that is good to know that those blanks have been filled in. Presumably, we figured that was the case. I'm sure many of you at home probably thought that to be the case
we did too. Yeah.
But it is important here to make sure that we get that confirmed from the agencies who are there on the ground and making sure that their words are specific here before we impart our own.
So we now know that is the case. And of course, NOPD also saying that the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, is now going to be the lead investigative agency on this. And if anybody happens to have any type of information, if you saw something out there, don't feel like you can't share it with police or don't need to, or that it's irrelevant.
It's the opposite.
Call the FBI. They want to hear from you. They want as much information as possible. It could be just a little piece of information just with what you saw, your account. It doesn't matter. Give the FBI a call. They are asking for your information. That number is 504-816-3000. I'll read it again, 504-816-3000. That'll put you in touch with the FBI, who is now the lead agency asking for any type of information, big, large or small, when it comes to this investigation.
Awfully important there. That is very much so the case, as well as any video that you may have recorded out there if you were there. We have seen a lot of video that we know is circulating social media, and often is the time in investigations of the like, law enforcement does turn to video to get a better idea of what's going on as far as their investigation stands. So contact the FBI if you do have any information. You're also urged to give the NOPD a call or Crime Stoppers. We share that number with you too, 504-822-1111. Bottom line, if you know something here, say something, as area law enforcement works to also maintain safety, but answer the many questions as to what happened here overnight.
Of course, there's going to be a lot of talk about could this have been prevented? What preventative measures were in place? What should have been in place, and whether any signs were missed. We don't know the answers to all of those questions at this point. That's going to be a large part of the FBI's investigation. But when you hear the police chief talk about the barricades that were up, you have the officers out. There were resources in place to try and prevent something like this. Then you have Councilman Freddie King talk about when you have the evil intention of someone who is this was what they wanted to do. It just goes to show you what can happen when you have that mindset. So whether it could have been avoided, we don't know at this point, but we do know that there was a large police presence. The police chief said some 300 officers out there patrolling, making sure everyone was having a fun, festive, safe time out there celebrating. But then you have this one person who makes the decision to kill people.
Right, and that's why these investigations are important, to figure out the intentions going into this and why this may have happened here. But again, the driver of that truck is dead. Speaking to City Councilman Freddie King III, District C, which does include the French Quarter, he says as far as the briefing that he has received, the suspect may have had an accomplice here, so we are looking into that as well. Investigators are going to give us another update a little later this morning, and our reporters on the ground are sure to ask about that.
And that, of course, could strike a lot of concern for folks who live in the area, not just in the French Quarter, but around the city, if in fact that there was an accomplice or there's someone else out there. We're going to check back in with our Winston Reed now, who is live on the scene. He's been out there all morning, got out there pretty quickly after this happened, and he has just been filtering through so much information. Winston, good morning to you again.
Good morning. I'm here at the corner of Royal and Iberville, and as things are developing, we should keep our focus on the investigation revolving around that explosive device. I just seen a New Orleans bomb detection vehicle make its way through Iberville here in the French Quarter, and look behind me. This is part of the French Quarter that is now blocked off surrounding Bourbon Street, and law enforcement is asking that everyone avoid Bourbon Street and the areas around Bourbon Street throughout the day. But yet the explosive device that was mentioned by the federal agent earlier this morning, it is currently under investigation. The investigation in itself, this entire investigation, is taken over by the FBI. However, that explosive device is something to be focused on, and because it's ongoing, and we don't know to what extent it's going to have an impact on this immediate area here in the Bourbon Street and French Quarter area. So just wanted to give you guys a visual of what I'm seeing. You're looking at law enforcement agents further down Royal Street, staying posted on the nearby streets alongside Bourbon. Again, law enforcement is asking everyone to avoid Bourbon Street throughout the day as the investigation continues and develops. And again, that explosive device that was mentioned earlier this morning from federal investigators, that investigation is continuing to develop. I did see a New Orleans bomb squad detection vehicle make its way down the Iberville street. So we're working to see how that unfolds and where that plays into all of this as well, in terms of this terroristic attack that the federal law enforcement agency is now using that term, terrorism, something that they refrained from earlier this morning, but now city officials and federal agents are now using the term terrorism as it relates to this investigation, where someone drove a vehicle through Bourbon Street, killing 10 people and injuring at least 35 others, as well as shooting 2 police officers who were treated for their injuries earlier today.